Hello? Hello? Oh, it works. Oh my gosh. No. Well, at least we figured that out. But I will say, my mic could die at any time, which is such a drag because I didn't charge it last night. So I hope it doesn't. And I will probably check intermittently during this stream to make sure that I am still being heard. so let's talk about these leaves again. Yesterday I made these jelly plate prints from my fig leaf tree leaves because I pruned my tree. I didn't use this one. It was too dead around the edge, and so I didn't. I had two other ones, and I decided not to use this one. But I used 3 leaves, and um, I was really proud that I used the leaves so much that they were falling apart by the time I was done. And I thought my fig leaf tree would be really proud that their leaves were used so thoroughly. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Let me check my mic. Thoroughly. Okay. Yep, there we go. Okay, great. So today we're going a little back to basics, and I'm going to move these. We're going to do a tracing of one of the drawings of Rose that I did because I'm working on a book, a coloring and creativity book, and I want to do a book with all roses in it. And I have a lot of pictures of roses that I've drawn, but I don't have the black line. And I don't want to do it. Oops, sorry. I don't want to do it in Procreate. I just really enjoy the experience of using physical media to do it. So, and also I find that it is more productive on the production side for me to do it this way, because if I do clean lines, they're really beautiful and they are expressive, and they vectorize easily and well. So that's why I want to do it this way and not in Procreate. Isn't it funny that I'm explaining why I'm not using Procreate? This is the world we live in. Here's my coffee today. Doesn't it look beautiful? My coffee looks exceptionally delicious. I'm gonna have a sip. Oh yeah, that's really good. I made it strong enough today. I like it strong, but not too strong. I'm not into that super tarry style dark coffee, like super thick like that, but I do appreciate a nice robust cup of coffee. And that is a combination of my Ethiopia and, oh my goodness, what is it called? I have another one that is it's a breakfast blend decaf. And I was gifted a French press that I've had French press before, but this French press is a Bodum, and I've never had a Bodum before. And there's a definite difference in the quality of this French press versus the one that I had before. So I really like it a lot. So I think with these letters, I'm going to do, see, this is the thing. When you get to these types of letters, do you want to do outline, or do you want to just do the letters in, like in all black ink, like thicker? So if you decide to do the outline, or I should say, if I decide to do the outline, this is my dilemma. If I decide to do the outline, like a black outline of each letter, and then leave the inside of the letter so it can be colored. The line on the outside, the outline, is going to be thinner, and the weight of it might not be sufficient enough. It might not be like hefty enough to balance out the rest of the composition. So cheers. I think I'm going to maybe outline this one, Handel, the name of the rose, and then I'll do, and then for these, I will do just a full ink line because I really, really don't like the look of a too thin line. I don't like an unbalanced, even though like it can look really wild and a lot going on in different areas, I still like to have balance. So I'm going to go for balance and I'm going to do that. And I'm working again from the bottom because being a lefty, I am doing that because I don't want to drag ink all over my page. And I'm going to move you so you can see what's happening with my hand because you really can't like that. Okay, let's move that like that. Okay, maybe that's better. So I didn't tape all the way around because I'm keeping this page, I'm keeping the original art page in my sketchbook, and I do want some flexibility. I cut my tracing paper to the size of the size that the coloring and create book will be. So that will give me like the best chance of not having to rejigger anything later, because there's always going to be tweaks that need to be done, right? But I want to avoid that if possible. I just also want to thank you guys for being here because I've been doing this now and I kind of lost count, but I should really go back and backtrack. I've been doing daily lives, almost daily, because I did have to take a few lives off over the past, since I started doing it live every day. I've been doing it for, I guess it might even be 6 weeks at this point. Yeah, to start something new on my channel that I've wanted to do for a long time and that I haven't, and to build my content and to build my community. And I am so happy that I started this. I don't even know how to I mean, for so many reasons, I am so happy I started this. And it's funny too because every day is like a leap of faith. I was just thinking that this morning when I was making my coffee. Because it's like every day, it's like, well, you could just cancel if you're too tired, or, you could do it later, or whatever, right? If you didn't get enough sleep. And I'm tired today. Like, I am not going to sugarcoat it. I have had some tired moments streaming twice a day, creating reels and shorts and all these things, and doing my other work too, obviously, working my shop and all these things and other projects that I want to do, and I haven't quite found the balance yet, but this is just really important to me, and I have a lot of faith because I really believe in doing this, and I really believe that I can grow my channel, and I really believe that I can find my people. with this. I really, really do. I know it might seem silly. You might think it's crazy, but I really, really do think it can happen, I think I can do it. So I'm just going to live out loud and do it, even though live out loud, quietly, groggy, drinking my coffee at 10 a.m. in the morning, doing this, doing a new project every day. And yeah, that's what's happening. So I'm going to just have another little sip of my coffee. Sometimes I like to mix the caffeine and the decaf. And I did it today because I had to, because I ran out of my fave. I ran out of my fave. Oh, I'm going to use my hand. This is my little hand holder. I'm going to use this today to balance my lefty hand. And I'm just trying to make sure that I have even putting things in the right place here. So I found a pen that I talk about all the time here, and I found it in my basement studio, and I'm going to show it to you in a little bit. I thought I might actually use it in this spread, and I might, but I might not. I might just stick with a brush pen because the lettering is not so detailed that in the entire thing that I would feel like I can't do the lettering in a brush pen. But I will say there might be some details down the road that I don't want to tackle with the brush pen. So I'm just moving my paper just ever so slightly, just there, so I can have a little space. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna work backwards. Yay, no fingerprints. Okay, let's go like this again, just so I can see. I think I mentioned the other day that I was going to order another canvas lamp, and I did. I ordered another canvas lamp. So cheers, sip of coffee, delicious. So the one that I was holding my phone right now has a busted light. It's a very strong holder for your phone, but mine has a busted light, and I actually have enough light in here, but in some ways you can't tell because there might be like a weird cast shadow, and that is because my phone holder, my canvas lamp, has halo the halo holder part, and the light is not illuminating my work because my light doesn't work. So all this to say the new one that I just ordered, and I didn't know they had this, but I don't know, it's new, I guess. It's called a 360, 360 something. And phone holder? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't have the halo and it doesn't have a light on it. So I thought the only option was to get the light. And then I saw the one without the light, and I'm thinking, I'm going to give that a shot because it might actually serve me better to not have the light on it and to have the only thing, facing my art, the phone, because that's a much less of a cast shadow than the, you know, halo. So I'm pretty excited to give it a shot. It's held on by the MagSafe circle thing, and I don't have a MagSafe phone, but I do have a MagSafe cover. So I have high hopes. We'll see how it goes. I'm slightly dubious about the MagSafe protection because, I mean, protection. I shouldn't say protection. The strength in holding it, I have a little bit of trepidation with that, but we'll see. I'm giving it a shot. So I have enough faith in the MagSafe that I went ahead and bought it. But if there's any problem, I can ask to get the clamp. I can order a clamp from them, I think. So I think you can order it separately, but if they don't they tell you they'll that you can get one, but it's not like for sale separately or anything. At least I didn't see it there. It wasn't like linked through the listing or anything. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited about it, and I think it's going to give a better experience. I think it's going to give a better experience on my lives too. And it was economical too, because the price of the lamp was less than the price of this lamp. So when I bought my original canvas lamp, I got it with the base, which I don't think you need. I don't need it, and I bought it. And the base it like adds on another $50, and it's a great base. But if you don't need it, don't get it. Cheers, because you can buy $50 worth of art supplies if you don't need the if you don't need the base. If you have a table or another place to, let's see what's under here. Another way to clamp your lamp. If you prefer a clamp, if a clamp's going to work better for you. I don't have space on my table for the base. And I like the base, but I don't need the base, and I don't use the base, so you don't have to buy the base. And it's pretty and aesthetic and everything, but you know what? What's more important is that something works for you. You know what I mean? And if you don't need it, don't buy it. But I think sometimes you have to experience things. Like sometimes you have to try something to know if it's not going to work for you. I'm very much like that. Like I will, people can tell you things and they can have your best interest at heart and they can be giving you advice and all this, but if it doesn't sink in unless you experience something, it's just not going to sink in until you try it yourself. I'm going to check my sound. It's just not gonna... Yep. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that I was my mic today very well might go out. I'm not sure because I didn't charge it last night, and this mic will just it'll hold a charge for an entire live, but I keep pressing down because I just want to see. I want to make sure that I can see my rose clearly. You know, the thing is, it's like um, if it's gonna, if it's gonna die on me, it's gonna die on me when I don't know it, and then I'm gonna be talking to the air. You know what I mean? So I have a laptop over here, so I can check in every now and then and see if my voice is still there, and apologize if that's annoying. I don't have to do that all the time, but I think it's important today because I certainly don't want to be silent. This is not my silent live. This is my chatty live, not my silent live. Okay, success so far. I didn't really get any. I got a little tiny mark there. That's okay. For the most part, the ink is good. I'm going to turn my page just like that. So I can more easily, I'm going to put this down actually so I don't make any marks because I don't want to, you know, let me think. I think I want to change the direction that my leaf is going in here. I like my leaf, but I want my leaf to, I wanted it to point towards the viewer a little bit more. So I think that accomplished that a little bit. Maybe? It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. And either way, it'll come out fine. It will be fine. Let's see. Start doing this rose. I'm going to hold off on finishing that little edge until I have some other stuff over here done. This is my little piece of marble that I like to put my hand on. So funny enough, last week I drew Van Gogh from one of his self-portraits. And I'm not really sure what sort of inspired me to do that, but it turns out that it reminded me that there is a Van Gogh portrait exhibition in my city, and it's closing on September 7th. And so I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make a plan and go next week. And I might try to record some of it for my channel. If I can. I'm not sure that I will be able to, but They might just kick me out of that place if I do. But sometimes everybody there is like filming and taking pictures and stuff. And they don't care. So when I did that, when I realized that, I decided to renew my membership to the museum. So I did that. I renewed my membership for a year. I'm excited because I'll be able to go to every exhibition I want, any exhibition I want, and it will keep it top of mind because I think for me that's really the main. There's two main things. One, this is what I'm working from. One, it keeps it top of mind, right? So you're paying attention more. You're getting the emails. You're prioritizing art, right? The other thing is you save so much money by buying a membership, like overall over your year. You really do. So at least with this membership. So, for the price that I paid for like a year of membership for like two people to go, you can go to so many more exhibitions. It's like and you can bring people with you and stuff. So cheers. My mug is by Lisa Page Pottery on Instagram. Check her out. Look at how cute it is. Look at these cute flowers. I love that it's bumpy. It's super comfortable to drink out of too and to hold. Anyway, so it's definitely worth it. It's worth it if you go. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm going to be very honest with you. How long ago was it? It was 2 years ago. I bought a membership. No, I got a membership for my birthday for my husband because I asked for it. I wanted it, got a membership. We went to a show we wanted to see. And then guess when I went again? That's right, I didn't go again. I had a friends and family membership for an entire year, and I only went that one time. And I was like, okay, well, at least, at least I know I'm not going to use this membership. So don't do it again. But I changed my mind because it's all about intention. It's all about, what do I choose to do? Do I choose to use my membership or do I choose not to? Like, I'm not on a runaway train. You know what I mean? Like, I decide these things. And if I decide I'm going to use my membership, I'll use my membership. So just like intentionally, like make a decision, and do it. And this is also where these lives come in for me because when you're going live every day, it certainly does, you know, change your perspective in a lot of ways. I mean, you're making art every day and you're doing it on camera for anyone to see. And that to me is like, it's like a magic bullet for my little idea machine in my brain. Um, I mean, it's a magic bullet in other ways too, honestly. Um, maybe magic bullet is not like the right analogy, actually. I don't really like any bullet reference in my analogies, but it's like I have a commitment, right, to be here most days. I mean, some days I have a doctor's appointment. Some days, if I ever get sick or something and I can't do it, like if I get the flu or something, even though I get the flu shots, so hopefully that won't happen. But you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna knock on wood. Oh, look at that. I have wood right here. Um, you make a commitment. And if you're solid, if you know why you're making the commitment, and if you realize all the benefits that you're giving to yourself from keeping that commitment, then you will get up when you're tired and you will make those sacrifices that you need to make in order to keep your commitment and to stay consistent and to keep showing up for you guys. And I love that because that's what I want. Like, I want to build community and I want to build trust. And like, that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. And I want to share like my process and like how to integrate, creativity into your everyday life with you guys. That's really important stuff. It's totally not trivial, as trivial as people can think it is. It's really not. It's very super important to your well-being. I mean, I get to get up every morning and share something new with you guys, like every day, or something that we've done before, but maybe we're going to explore a new angle of it, or talk to you about a project that I'm working on, like today, something I've mentioned before, this idea that I have for these color and create books that are like coloring, but they're just like a little more. And I know that other books exist like that out there, but I didn't make them. So, it's like, you know, that's something else that we have to realize, that there's value in what you do, even if, you didn't invent what you're doing, you're inventing your own version of what you're doing. And that is worthwhile. That is worthwhile. And it's worth exploring and it's worth doing. How am I going to do this? I'm going to back my lamp up over here and just shed some light. So my setup is I have a bunch of lamps, table lamps around me, and then I also have an overhead halo light that's hanging from cheers that's that's situated above my entire desk. So now we have this rose. It would be really cute. I'm not going to do it because I'm working in ink right now. A little bee or something. That would be really cute. I think I might leave a little space someplace, like leave a little blank area and do that off camera, because I like that. See, look, there's a little splotch of ink right here. That would be a very cute little bee. And I could have a little bee over here too. Little bumblebee. Be so cute. Add a little something, add a little character to it. I really like that idea. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to tackle it. I needed to do something today that was a little more straightforward for me, because, and I am really going to try not to mention this anymore, but because I am sleep deprived today, and I know I wanted to get more done on this book that I'm working on, and I needed something that I could like kind of do on autopilot a little bit, because this week I've been doing very active, participatory, like more experimental for me because I don't usually do jelly prints. I have a couple jelly plates that I bought years ago, and one of them before this week, I had not even opened it. So it's open now. I used it a bunch and I will use it again. Very, very fun. Check out those videos if you want to laugh. They're very engaging, if I do say so myself. Lots of talk, lots of, fun experimentation going on. Let's look at this. Oh, move my hand. Let's look at this under here. Okay. Sometimes I got to double check, because I don't want to. I like to try and keep my lines closed. Not all the time. Like if you look at my leaves, the lines are not closed. That's okay. The larger lines are closed. For a coloring book, I like to have closed lines to the art. Because I plan to use this art for that. That's how I'm playing this. Let's do another. That's sort of the methodology I've got going on here that I'm following when I do this. So sorry about that ding. My lamp over here, but I want to make sure that you have some light for my lefty hand because I'm a lefty. See, we gotta look under this. I look a little deeper under our. There we go. Okay. So, I think part of the beauty of a coloring book, right, is the fact that you're inviting creativity. You're inviting people to do a creative activity, like a fully creative activity, but you're taking away barriers for them to that creativity by starting stuff, like starting the project for you. And that's important because people need that sometimes. And, it's important to exercise your creative brain in different ways. And a lot of people have problem to exercise their creativity. And so if you can make the barrier to entry much easier, like even, even almost non-existent, like this is going to be fun, because people do have hang-ups about creativity. And it's helpful to have some guidance with that sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. We all need help in different areas. And I think I need help. We all need help at different times with different things like that. Like even let's just say even the most well-known or famous or well-respected artists can have moments where they are having some blocks. You know, like anything. Like anything. That's why there's a word called writer's block, or a term, you know, because people need help sometimes. See, over here, I'm going to do like just expressive openish letters, and that's fine because I think this is a little bit of a different situation. The letters don't have any hollows to color, and you can do different things with a line. If the line is like thick enough, you can like grab a paint pen, you know, grab a paint pen, decorate the line. And that is what I hope my book will be inspiring for people to do, because the paper I'm I'm still waiting for my samples. I should get them this week. Paper samples, not book samples. I haven't ordered a book yet. I'm going to move my A a little bit though over, because I think it was a little too directly over the L. And let's just scooch down a little bit here. I'm going to move you down too. It's right there. Move my lamp up. Okay. Oops. Maybe no. Maybe no. Let's do that. That's better. Okay. L. We're going to freehand this. There we go. Okay. That's cute. Okay, good. And if we want, we can add flourishes later. Little decorative elements that will make things a little more fun, you know? Because part of it is like encouraging, you know, people to sort of think outside the lines, you know, like think outside what, you know, you might typically think of for a coloring book. For instance, you know, these are not hollows, but there's other things you can do with the line, with the black line. You know, just break out another something. Break out your paint pens, break out your break out your neocolors, even break out your crayons. Who cares? Break out whatever. Color with your kids, you know, like bring your kids in on it. You know what I mean? And then if they do like outside the lines, like use it as part of your, you can use it as part of your compositional stuff, you know. You can, should I do another little, no, I'll leave it like that. You know what I'm saying? Just like make it work to your own liking. Okay, let's see here. So this is even. This is like the even page, like squared off. And we're going to do, come on, lamp, behave. Okay. All right. We have this H, and we have this L and rose. I'm going to stand up for this because I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do that because I need to have a little more control and leverage over here. All right. Do I want to? I'm trying to think if I want to make outlines. Here's what I'm going to do. I have an idea. I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to do outlines with my Tradio Pullman pen. That's this. I want to show you this pen. This is like a fountain style pen, but not. And what I mean by that is, if you look at this tip, you see it's like flat and pointy. So you can get different lines with it. You can get like a thick or a thin, but you can also get like a little skinny straight line. So you can use it in that way, but it's a lot more flexible because you don't have, a metal nib that is dragging and spraying stuff everywhere. Although you do have to be careful a little bit with spray with this. But this is the cartridge. Do you see that? So the cartridge is, and this entire thing is the cartridge. So you buy refills that look like this, which is a terrible, terrible waste of plastic or use of plastic. Why? Right? I'm going to see if there's a way I can hack this pen. There's another version of this pen that is the quote unquote disposable version. Oh, do I have it? I do. Okay. This is the Pentel Stylo or Stylo. I don't know how you say it. This is the quote unquote disposable one, disposable version of this pen. And if you look at the tip, it's much the same. Let me show you. It's much the same. This pen is not refillable. And it is for sure, you can tell, I feel like it's just not, I don't think the ink flows quite as well. So I hacked this and I put ink in it. On, I don't know if it was another live or did I make a video? Anyway, it's on my, oh, I think I made a video. I think it's actually going to go live tomorrow. Or soon. Anyway. So I hacked it because I was following a YouTube channel that hacks pens because I wanted to see if I could do that because I love this pen, but I hate the fact that the cartridge looks like this. Like, guys, that's a lot of plastic that you easily could just figure out a way to refill, hopefully. Somebody did, I hope. Anyway. So you take this little part off and then you literally just fill it with your ink. And I did that with this pen. And I thought, oh, that's the answer. That is the answer to this, conundrum here. But what I learned is it's really not. Because okay, it still does this sometimes, which doesn't work if I am holding it in a certain way. And as a pen user, as an artist, that drives me bananas if I'm like this. Like my pen should work. It should work. If I'm holding it that way, or that way, it should work. I want to get a line. I don't want to get this, that, whatever, Another thing that I learned was when you put ink in here, there's a piece in here that is absorbent. And I put ink in there and I got leaks until it was fully absorbed. So if there's any extra ink in there, you're going to get like a leaky pen, which is no bueno. So I do really like this pen, but I'm glad I found this one again because I had misplaced this and I lost it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try the disposable one because I don't want to buy a whole new one when I know it's still around. It's just someplace I don't know where it is. But this one you see, like, look, I'm not having that problem here. And I don't know if part of that is because when you replace the cartridge, you're replacing even the tip. And honestly, I think that's probably a good idea because, I mean, as much as I don't like waste and I like to use things up, the tip is, I think changing the tip out is a good idea on these pens because I think, and I'm not sure, but it's clearly an absorbent tip. I think it's like a hard felt tip, but super hard. So it does get saturated and it does get saturated and it works, but it's not infallible. You know what I mean? So it's not a bad idea to switch it out when needed. Okay, so I I'm gonna do my I'm gonna do. I had to think about this for a second. Do I want to do outlines? I think I want to try outlines, and then I'm gonna do outlines with my pen with my Tradio, and then I'm going to look at it and add in some a heavier weight of line where I feel like it makes sense to do so. I'm going to move you so you can see this better, the entire thing, because that's important. So I think that's the direction. I'm going to check my volume. All right, I'm on. It works. So that way, if I don't like how it's turning out, I can just switch gears and do thick lines everywhere. You know, I'm not convinced this is going to be, a home run at all, because I feel like I'm probably going to have some sort of a situation where, but you don't know unless you try. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to have to sit for this. You might see some of my head. Not sure. Ooh, this might be a little challenging for me. I think I'm going to tilt you because I think that'll just be easier all around for everyone. I feel like this is so risky. Yeah, you know what? Forget it. I'm not doing this. I'm going with the original. I'm going with the original version, the original idea. Let me zoom you out a little bit. I'm going with the original idea of how the art is done, because I really appreciate a nice, big, thick, chunky line like this anyway. But because I already did it down below, and I convinced myself that it's a good idea to do this because it's already a picture that can be used for, like, the black part of the line can be used for other techniques. So why not just like continue that and not add in a new element that is not, it's not a home run, because I have problems with it. I have problems with it, with the idea of it sometimes. It's like I like a coloring page to have more flexibility, but I also want it to be something that is inviting. And I sometimes feel like I really do. No, I don't feel this way. I mean, I do feel this way, but this is just a fact. I need to practice letting go of certain details because they serve only in the end sometimes this little part of my brain that wants to scratch that itch, and they may not serve the bigger purpose. And I feel like sometimes with detail, and I love detail, but I do feel like sometimes you really have to question, or I really have to question, what is ooh, I'm getting a little, I don't like that. Getting a little, I'm going to do this because I need to get a more curved swoop. I always have to ask myself, what is the purpose of this, And I think we all should be like asking ourselves that question for different reasons and different ways and different for whatever. But for me, I have to do that with detail because I do have a tendency to get very stuck, or maybe not. I don't want to see. I don't want to say it as like it's a negative. I just think I need to manage it. That's all. Because it's a positive trait. Like I love detail, and there's nothing wrong with that. But do you like how I'm talking myself off a cliff with you here? Have you noticed this? Have you noticed that's what I'm doing? Hey, if you're here and if you're liking my stream, please hit that like button because it means a lot to the YouTube gods algorithm. And while you're at it, please hit that subscribe because I'm trying to grow my channel. And I would love it if you're actually sitting here watching this and you're, slightly entertained. Please join me. I'm live here every day. Rain or shine. Unless I'm sick or I can't, if I'm away or whatever, if there's some reason. Like last week, I had family in town, and it was the type of a situation where I needed to be like all hands on deck, like at any time. So I did have to cancel a few streams, and I felt like a little lonely puppy because I missed you. I missed doing this, and I missed, I've built this habit of doing this now, and I really love it, and I am working to grow my channel. I like how that came out. That's good. So I'm happy with this. I think it looks well balanced with the lettering, and yeah, so please do. I do see I am going to get a little picky. I'm going to grab my skinnier. This is a smaller brush. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to cover my H a little so I don't make marks with it. I just want to make this a little bit more of a like cozy curve and less of a hard curve. And I also stream at 12:30. I do a quiet stream. Those are fun to just watch and not have any Kathy talking in your ear off. Oh, did I overdo that? I think I may have, but you know what? It's okay because it's actually, I can refine things. I can refine some of this stuff in Photoshop, just erase stuff before I turn this vector. So if you're just here now, I'm doing this for a coloring and create book that I'm working on. And the theme is roses. And you can definitely check out other of my streams that are live and available to watch. That if you're interested in that more, if you want to hear more about that, then I've talked about it a little bit. I feel like I'm talking about it more and more now that it's becoming more real because I'm finishing. We're not finishing. I'm not finishing. It's not. It's not finished. The art is not finished. The book is not finished. It's in progress. I'm literally talking about it before it's even, but that's okay. It will get done. And I think I'm going to add another petal here because I like that idea. There we go. So I'm going to zoom it out and show you. So this is where we're at. Make this so it's better for you. That, okay. So this is where we're at. We have balance, general balance. Hold on. I'm going to show you the original, and then I'm going to show you my trace side by side. so you can see what I've done and get a sense of what this is going to be like. So here's the drawing I did, and if you want to see the creation of this, it's on another stream that I did 4 weeks ago, maybe. Anyway, definitely check it out. This was super experimental. I think I was calling it Hot Mess Express, the live, because all kinds of crazy stuff happened. It was fun. Should definitely check that one out. Especially if you like this, because when I was creating it, I'm like, what's happening? What's going on here? Okay. So let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. So this is more simple. No, this is pretty simple, but we have background stuff and we have little flourishes. We have little decorative elements in here. We have some drips. So this is a more simplified version. And this, if you have seen my work before, you know this required a great deal of restraint for me because I'm always putting little flourishes everywhere. But I wanted to leave some leeway. I wanted to get the bones down and to not over stuff this because I do want to leave. First of all, I do like the idea of like a floating graphic, which I often don't do. Okay. I'll do, but then I'll do other stuff on the edges and I like to pack a page. So I want to leave more freedom for the person who's going to be coloring this. So that's what this is about. And you saw I did a little bit of flourish down there. I had to restrain myself. I'm like, stop, stop, stop. So it's just a practice. And I love my flourishes. There's nothing wrong with them, but we're always working on different parts of ourselves and working on managing different little neurosis or whatnot in our, the way that we like to do things. And for me, this is challenging to keep it very graphic and simple and great just as it is. So now I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the leaves and I'm thinking, because I like the simplicity, but I'm thinking balance. Do I want another leaf just popping out here? Do I want another leaf popping out there? And I didn't leave a spot for a bee like I said I was going to. And I can put a bee in later. I can do another tracing paper. I can draw the bee where the bee would be, And then I can, when I go into Photoshop, I can take out a little bit piece of my rose line. I can pop in the little bee, and then I can bring it into Illustrator and make it vector. And then it's like the bee is always there. So that's like an extra step I could do if I want to add a bee, and I might. Just I think a little bee might be cute, like maybe a little one here, maybe a little one there. But I don't want anything to. I'm actually really digging this simplicity, so I think maybe I'll keep that. But I do like to add little balance elements, and I do feel like we're missing something here. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't have to be the same because it doesn't have to be like a one-to-one. Like maybe a leaf, maybe a bee, maybe another leaf right here. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna work it out, and I'm gonna work it out off camera because I'm gonna go now, and I hope to see you at 12:30 for my quiet time. And if that doesn't work for you, if you want to come back here tomorrow, I'll be here tomorrow again to talk your ear off and to talk art process with you and to have a whole other project. So I hope to see you then and have a great day. And please like and subscribe. Take care. Bye bye.